Hey there, my friends. Hope you all had a nice weekend. Rather uneventful weekend for me here in South Alabama, but I got outside, moved my body a little bit, and all in all, it was a good weekend. Today, I want to get away from food again and just talk a little bit about reflections on life and three lessons that I've learned along the way. And I've learned them kind of the hard way, a lot of them. The last few years have been a lot of reflection for me. Once I left Costa Rica and then I kind of came here to the States and actually kind of got stuck here in Alabama. Even though the logical side of me knows that no good comes of dwelling on the past, my past has kind of left me in a sort of a purgatory. I'm kind of trying to get beyond it and figuring out the next stage of life and where to go, but yeah, I haven't quite figured it out yet. But anyhow, what have I learned? And I've learned a lot. I hope I've learned more than this, but I just think these are three simple little lessons that I didn't necessarily know earlier on that once I got them, I'm like, oh yeah, it makes life so much easier. And the first one might seem an odd one, but it's like have the ability to laugh at yourself. Nobody likes that uber serious person, that person that guards themselves so much to where they're threatened. Any kind of little joking, teasing around, back and forth between each other. So I just think, and also for your own good, just for your mental health, just be able to laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously. I tend, from what I've seen in life in 59 years, people that take themselves very seriously don't tend to be very happy people, and people that tend to be very serious about themselves don't people don't like to be around them because that's just not an inviting type of person to be around. So be able to laugh at yourself when the joke is told. Beat people to the punch. Don't get upset, don't get offended. Just laugh at yourself. Now there's certainly, I mean, I need to always mention exceptions if somebody says something horrible, obviously, but being able to laugh with yourself is definitely a skill. The second one is very, very simple. Almost just might seem a little Pollyanna, but it's just to be kind. Be kind to people. I think earlier in life I was a little bit more focused on being right. I was not an unkind person, but I just put being right or being argumentative with somebody above being kind. And I think with age comes a little bit of introspection and possibly wisdom to where you just see a lot of times, with people like, okay, and even if you know that you're right, you're like, I'm right, but what am I gaining here by like pressing this point? Or even like in the circumstances of people that are unkind to you, just be kind. Even if it's not sincere, and if you're a mischievous person, being kind to a person that doesn't like you kind of drives them crazy. So there's always a way to be kind. I think we can find little kindnesses in life. The unexpected kindnesses too. I would throw in there, like just strangers. Sometimes there's just something simple you can do. You see a stranger that you can tell is struggling. You can say a kind word to them. That means a lot to people when they tend to be struggling. And a lot of times, even from a stranger, people in their day-to-day lives, I don't know, there's just a different vibe sometimes when a stranger just gives you a kind word. But most of the time, we can find a way to be nice in most situations. Now, being nice does not mean being a sucker. I'm not a total turn the other cheek type of guy. Like if you remember the old movie Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze told those bouncers in that movie, he said, be nice until it's time not to be nice. So I kind of say that with being kind. Be kind until it's not time to be kind. You don't have to be a pushover. You don't have to be a sucker. And I like the famous saying that's like, don't take my kindness for weakness. There's a difference. But whenever possible, be kind. And, I'm not even, don't be unkind just because your ego gets ruffled just a little bit. And the third one is something that I am starting to have regrets on, and I'm seeing now at this stage of my life. And that would be to make time and prioritize people in your life. I've had good relationships with people in my life. I always had a good relationship with my parents. I haven't had any blow ups with people where we had these angry splits or whatever. But I started a few years ago, especially after my mom passed away a couple of years ago, started thinking about family and things. And there was a lot of extended family. You know, I was kind of this kid. I grew up in a small town in South Alabama. I wanted to get out of there. I left my hometown the day that I graduated high school. And I did stay in the state. I went to university at Auburn University. But then when I graduated there, I went to Miami, and I didn't live around here for 30 years. And also, when my second year in college at Auburn, my dad got this little mobile home down in Destin, Florida. So I stopped going to my hometown, and I stopped seeing a lot of my aunts and uncles and certain cousins that lived within the vicinity of where I grew up. And, you know, after my mom passed 2 years ago, and then I went to a family reunion just about a month after that, back in 2021. And I just started realizing by some of my aunts and uncles that had passed away and other people, like I never saw them again. And these were like people that I was really close to. And it wasn't an awkward thing, like I was always off somewhere else. But I think back on all these people that I would have liked to have had some sort of closure with. You know, I've never been to I've been to maybe 3 or 4 funerals in my life. And 2 of those were my parents. One was my grandparents. In fact, I'm trying to think of funerals I've been to outside of just very immediate family and people that I should have been there for. And a lot of this goes back to, you've probably heard me mention before, or if you just happen to be watching me for the first time today, I was a drunk for 30 years, and I was a real hardcore drunk for 30 years, and drunks don't tend to prioritize people. And I had my group of friends, you know, wherever I was, whether I was in university, when I was living in Miami, when I eventually moved to Costa Rica, where I lived for 18 years. But I was always that guy, like, here's a case right here. My friends sometimes would get together and do barbecues and whatever, but I was already out drinking. I wanted to hit the bars. With relationships with women, I always prioritized the booze. You don't know how many people I stood up. You don't know how many appointments, dates, whatever that I missed because I was hungover or I was drinking. And drinking was always the priority. So I never developed a lot of close relationships. Obviously, I've never been married, you know, what have you, don't have kids. And I got to a point in life, and like I say, I just realized after my mom was gone that I'm like, I don't really have family per se. I've got extended family. My father had 11 kids in his family. So I've got tons of cousins, but a lot of these I haven't even seen in, you know, 30, 40 years. So it's like I liked them. I still would like them, I'm sure, but they're spread all over the place. I don't really have family. So I'm kind of trying to have to, you know, figure out like where I go for the next, I don't know, 20 to 30 years. I don't have much more than that. So, you know, kind of how I would like my life to progress from here on out. And I would definitely like for there to be people in that, but prioritize those people. Make time, you know, like, you know, sometimes we go through certain ages where even our parents, it's like, even if you have a good relationship, you're like, well, I got stuff to do. Stop putting off the stuff and spend time with these people. Make priorities with the people in your life and keep them in your life. And be open to, you know, developing new relationships of all different kinds with all different kind of people. But people are important in life, and that's just something I haven't prioritized nearly enough over my 59 years. And, you know, it is what it is. I just have to, like I say, the things that I'm stuck about from my past, I just have to figure out a way to work past them and kind of like take that step forward and just do the best I can in the future. So, anyhow, just a little musing for a Monday. I don't know if anybody will get anything of use out of it. If you like this one, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you here again in a day or two. Peace.